The third and last part of my review of the classic prototypes mod collection coming up right now.
Do you like our logo? Yeah, we thought you would. Get it now at our partner Spreadshirt.net.
Greetings petrolheads and welcome to sadly the last part of my review of this mod collection today with the Porsche 906 and the Ferrari 330. Each and every car in this mod has wanted to be driven in their own way. Let's check in which way these last two cars were special. This cannot have been a car that was easy to drive. Everything is written in German as was to be expected from a Porsche. Two exceedingly minimal rear view mirrors. How am I supposed to race with that? Whoa, it must be loud in here. The motor is enclosed and there is no wall between the motor and the driver. In real life, you'll go deaf in 2 races. Is there a motor in the motor? Oh, not really, but the valves look like stalactites? That's interesting. Again, not much aerodynamic downforce here, so I won't be able to use the DRS zones. Ah, closed car. I think this is the first one, right? I have a ceiling. What a luxury, I have a ceiling. But where's the felt? Man, these Germans. They give you a ceiling, but they don't put felt. I like the Italians more. Nice touch that the brake makes that typical metallic sound. Nice sound design of the motor. Ah, nice. Did you hear the suspension sound? From the round of practice that I did before recording this, I know that I have to be very careful with the motor and the up and down shifting. The gearing as standard in this mod is even more difficult than the Lola. You have to be even more careful with up and down shifting than in the Lola. The normally very helpful Race Essentials app is of no use here to me because when it goes in the yellow is already time to change gears. I have to shift gears by ear as I have no other useful indication of when to upshift. You should by no means let the RPMs go into the red zone because you're hurting the motor the millisecond that it starts. Even on the 5th gear, if the RPMs go into the red, the motor starts to suffer. I'll have to check how many of these cars went boom, as if it was as difficult to handle the gears in reality, I don't think many motors survived. Wow, these cars on the steering! Based on the, by the way, excellent force feedback, this car feels very heavy. But I suppose that's what it makes it so stable. Because this car is as stable as if it would go on rails. This car hates everything below 3000 RPMs and even below 4000 it's not to its liking, but on the upper limit you have to be careful, so with regards to motor and gearing you have to fiddle. And I broke some motor. Okay, let's try this again. I wonder... Next time I'm going to pits, which is gonna be soon looking at the motor, I should see how far and how I can change the gearing. Yeah, if I can, I'll change all the gearing, because the gearing for these curves is not correct. And of course, the motor suffers the way the gearing is set up right now. Now I'm scared that I'm gonna blow up the motor, which I did. Look at that. So, okay, pits and gearing. Oh, I can only change the gear ratio and not every gearing by itself. Thing is, I gotta make you shorter and longer at the same time. Oh well, okay. This is better now. My recommendation is to change the gearing the minute you get in this car. I should have done the same with the Lola, but I didn't think of it at that time. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this car now. Now that I've changed the gearing, I have to learn which gear I use for every part of the track all over again, but I'm being faster. Maybe because I don't have to be scared of breaking the motor with every down or up shift. First lesson, change the gearing, see that it fits your way of driving. The motor will thank you for that. Second thing that I've learned about this car, it is stable as heck. I'm not sure if after changing the gearing is my favorite car, but it's lots of fun to drive. On the other hand, they all are. But let's go to the points. The look at those curves, man. I love the old design of cars where they had character, and of course this mod shows it incredibly well. So again, for the look, I give it 5 eyes out of 5. The sound, hey, I hear when I brake. I hear the suspension, not all the time, but at least. There are more sounds than just the motor, and the motor sounds excellent. So, for once, you'll be surprised. I'm giving it 5 ears out of 5. The driving feeling, it will be an astonishing surprise to you that the force feedback is excellent, that you feel this car with everything that you do and with everything that it does. Shocking, I'm giving it 5 wheels out of 5. Of all the prototype legends that I've tested until now in this mod, this is, in my opinion, the one that is best done and is most complete. And the last but not least, now we're going again to sit in a Ferrari. Sit tight because we're going to check the Ferrari 330 mod. Look at this beauty. See, Porsche, that's how you do it. You give me a ceiling, but you put felt. Felt. Not just a naked car. It's a Ferrari. It's already molto fast. So we make it also nicer to drive. Who chose the colors? They should never ever let this person choose colors again. Orange, blue, red. Very, very 70s. Oh, hello motor. There is a little bit of graphic design for the motor, nice. And this is all I have to look back. That's gonna be interesting. It's a Ferrari, it's not a make to for look back. Back are all the other losers that are not driving a Ferrari. A Ferrari never back, you never look back in a Ferrari. Thanks to Berdine, now I know why the motor goes silent when I go off the throttle. Very interesting comment. And I learned a little bit, and that's always good. But the motor sound jitters. Berdine, do you know something about it? Let me know. There's something like a wah 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 wah. Do you hear it? Unlike the other cars in this mod collection, the design of the motor sound is not completely right here. And now that I've heard the motor jitter, I find it difficult to concentrate on anything else. No sound from the suspension or from the brakes, unluckily. As I suppose most of us, I drive by ear, and if I don't hear the motor after going off the throttle, I think it's broken or something's wrong, and I don't know the exact point where to upshift, downshift or whatever. I know now that this was standard behavior for this motor. Oh god, it would drive me crazy. As was the case with the first Ferrari, this car is also very temperamental. When you reach the top of the RPMs, the car starts to oversteer. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. The pendulum in this car is enormous, but it was to be expected. What an enormous amount of torque. At least the motor doesn't go boom like in the Porsche. The force feedback isn't as good as with the other cars in this mod collection. With respects to the gearing, the first goes up to 100 and the second is more an intermediary between the first and the third, so don't dwell on the second very much. Interesting, the Porsche was the only one that had the wheel on the left side, right? Ouch! I broke the car. Good that I'm in a simulation. This car is difficult to drive for me because there's always a point where I don't hear the motor, and I always, even for a couple of milliseconds, wonder what's going on, did I break something? That makes me slower because it breaks my flow. But let us go point by point. Of course, this car looks wonderful. It's very well done. There's a motor in the motor, yee-hee! And all in all, you feel like in a Ferrari of yesteryear. It will come as no surprise that I give it 5 eyes out of 5. Now to the sound. The wah-wah of the motor is unnerving, and I know that it's done up to spec, but that I don't hear the motor makes it difficult for me to drive it. But this wah-wah is not up to spec, so for the sound and because I don't have any other sound, I give it 3 ears out of 5. The force feedback here is not as good as in the other cars of this mod, still is quite good, but for the driving feeling I give it, let's be nice because this mod was very good to me, 4 wheels out of 5. That is not only all for today, but all for this fantastic mod collection. I hope you had as much fun watching these videos as I had driving these cars. If you love classic cars and if you want even for a little bit to feel how these pilots drove, get this mod. I cannot recommend it enough. It's very well done, and even if I've been nitpicky to the different car mods, all in all it's an excellent collection that makes the heart of somebody who loves classic cars beat faster and beat of the rhythm of the valves of the motor. I could go all day praising this mod, but I think that is about enough, so I thank you very much for taking the time for watching this video and the other videos in the mod collection. If you enjoyed it, please be so kind and applaud by leaving a like. If you didn't like it, please leave a comment telling us why so that we can get better. If you want to see more of us, subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell. And if you think somebody else might enjoy this video, share it. I'd be very thankful. And until next time, save fuel, take pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.